And after a failed attempt at secession, the rebelling states would lose significant political power for the duration of the Reconstruction period, just like the South did after the Civil War. So if they don't like how things are running in the US now, they'll really hate it after losing the Second Civil War. As such, the only plausible mechanism of rebellion in the US is insurgency, which the full discussion of will have to be a whole separate video. But to his credit, Cohen does acknowledge that there's no contiguous landmass within the US that could secede as a new single country. But he then goes on to say, I consider secession a grievously underappreciated phenomena. My motivation to write this book was to call people's attention to this fact. We tend to simplify geography by looking exclusively at the existing lines on a map that separate one sovereign state from another. But the reality is there are many people within those states that are very unhappy with the arrangement. They'd prefer to draw the lines in a different way. In some cases, they're prepared to fight to redraw those lines. He's not wrong about this, but when it comes to the US in particular, he's either leaving out or not fully familiar with the fact that the question of secession was answered militarily with our first Civil War and answered legally after with the 1869 case Texas v. White. In Texas v. White, the Supreme Court ruled that states have no authority to unilaterally secede, nor does the Constitution provide for or include a mechanism for states to leave the Union. So, an amendment to the Constitution that establishes such a mechanism would have to be ratified before any state could lawfully leave. As such, the various people in the various parts of the US can feel any kind of way they want about the lines drawn on the map. But secession really isn't legally or militarily possible for any state, or any group of states less than about half of them.